Countdown. Well, hello there, and welcome to another edition of Johnny Davis Live. We're here on this June 4th, 2021, and today we're speaking to none other than the one and the only Asa Ten Pow. He's out of West Palm Beach, Florida, and he's going to be fighting on next was it Saturday night in Miami, Florida. He has a big fight coming up. We're going to chat with him. Not going to take a lot of his time. I know he has to get to the gym today. We're going to chat with him just a little bit, though. We always want to thank our sponsors, Eastern Offset Printing, for all they do for us, guys. If you want some good printing, definitely check them out. We're always looking for sponsors. Guys, we're getting out there. We're working really hard and all that. In fact, I'm on my way to Missouri a little bit later today. I have a huge IKF PKB sparring tournament over there on this Sunday, as well as I'm doing an actual seminar on tomorrow. There should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to meeting everyone and having a great time. Listen, we're not going to put a lot of time into my jibber jabber. We're going to just go ahead and move right on to our special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, please bring up the one and the only Asa Ten Pow. How you doing, sir?
Good, good. Thank you. Fantastic introduction.
Yeah, I get even crazier, Asa. no doubt about that. Hey, look, man, we've been going back and forth. I've been following your career now for a moment. Right, and I said I would, and I want to make sure that I keep my word, and I always appreciate you taking a moment, because I know you said you got to hit the gym here shortly, and coming on and chatting with me a little bit. But you got to put a big fight coming up here next week. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, Kevin Ross is no chump, right? I mean, he is one of the legends, really, in our sport. Has been for a long time. Before we go too much into that, though, I want you to tell me, without talking yourself out of a fight, tell me, what are your thoughts about Kevin, not the fight, but about Kevin Ross, the fighter?
Kevin Ross, the fighter, he is one of the forefronts for American Muay Thai. He is one of the pioneers that a lot of us got to watch do it and kind of set a sort of a blueprint, I guess you could say, on what we're trying to do. And that's pretty much become one of the best, have American Muay Thai seen similar in the same light as Eastern style Muay Thai, Thai style. Kevin fought some of the best. He's fought some of the bigger names like Senchai, and he got his name out there. He was able to be on the forefront again, and he displayed, great technique for an American, and right. He showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and he showed that we're capable of competing on a world stage with not only other champion fighters, but the Thai fighters, European fighters.
Right. You alluded to something there that was kind of interesting. You said that he is pretty good, or has done pretty good for an American fighter, right? There seems to be something there that American fighters are just simply not as good as most Thai fighters.
It still dates back from the day, when Rick Rufus and
I forgot. You're not gonna let Rick Rufus off the hook on that one. I mean, come on. That was totally two different styles and kind of like a big introduction too.
Yeah, no doubt. Even Rodriguez, Benny the Jet, he fought some Thai guys. He did very well. He did very well with his style. Styles make fights. The American style was not a low kicking style, obviously. It was tailored differently, but
So are you saying we're trying to catch up? We got to catch up.
I don't want to say we want to catch up, because it's just different when things come all the way over from the West. Things get changed. We put our own spin on it. I mean, different countries do different things really well. Like, they have long roots in certain things, like Muay Thai for Thais, boxing for Americans. I mean, you know, most Thai boxers can't fight in American boxing, and you know,
True.
vice versa. So it's, I don't want to say we're like trying to catch up. I'm certainly not trying to catch up to them. I'm just trying to put us on the same level or better. I'm not trying to say anything like I'm doing something better, but yeah, catching up, I guess. Yeah, we're looked as the little brother or little sister country as far as Muay Thai goes, because a lot
Right.
of us are hobbyists. A lot of us do the. I mean, the best guys. There's like maybe two handfuls, and they're all in different divisions and
Right.
different
Right. Right.
genders and stuff like that. So it's very small pool for us, but I think our quality is very good. The
Right.
quality that we have, the small quantity, we have a very good, strong base, and it's coming up, I believe.
So getting back to Kevin Ross, though, he, like you said, is a legend in our sport. But what do you think of him as a fighter?
So when I first started seeing Kevin, like it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was just kind of getting my feet in the Muay Thai realm, and he was the guy that was being sponsored by Muay Thai Addict, which was also sponsoring me. So the conflict with Kevin was that, yeah, Kevin gets all the attention and I don't.
Right.
Uh, being that
Oh, okay.
being that obviously he was world champion professional fighter, I was still an amateur. So
Sure.
it's not
Oh.
comparable. But do I hold a chip? Yeah, I hold a chip because
Oh, uh-oh. Now let's really get down into the meat of this thing.
yeah, it's nothing personal to Kevin. If John Doe was number one Muay Thai fighter, I would want John Doe as well.
Right.
Kevin's been the one, like, that's what happens when you become the champion. Everybody wants to be where you're at. It's
I know
not
a little bit about that.
necessarily
Yeah. Right.
anything personal to Kevin. I'll say that I don't watch his fights to like copy him, or like I see some good things in him, but he's not somebody that like I'm idolizing or I'm watching to, you know, tailor my game to, I guess you could
Right.
say. But he
Right. Right.
has his own tricks. He has a lot of things that he does very well. But yeah, I feel like I'm the best in the world, so that's what we're
Right.
gonna find out.
Right. Right. So what rule style is this? A full rule Muay Thai or modified?
Yeah, it's full rules. Yeah, full rules.
Oh, so you're gonna be throwing some elbows.
Yeah, knives are coming out.
Well, yeah, nice, I guess. Well, I wish you luck in that and everything. You know, those elbows can be a little ugly sometimes, but that's interesting though. Before I go in to that too, the elbow thing is, you know, something that you were not doing with Glory,
Mhm.
and you were, you know, more in a unified rule
Correct.
style with, you know, limited clinch and no elbows and sweeps and things like that. So have you adjusted with this not new, but going back to basically what you were doing before? Because I know you fought in another, when you were fighting, I think with IFMA or somebody, it was a elbow fight. So
Yep.
have you readjusted back to the elbows in your training?
Yeah, for sure. That's you know, that the good thing is I've had the opportunity to train a lot. I've had the opportunity to learn a lot.
Oh,
My
you mean
Thai
because
coach.
of the COVID had everybody home? Is that what you're saying?
No, just throughout my life. I mean, I've
Okay,
never stopped. I've never stopped training. I've never stopped learning.
got it.
As far as like when I was jumping back to Muay Thai, it's not such a hard change. The change for me mostly is the
Mm,
pacing.
mm,
The
mm,
kickboxing style versus the Thai style is the pacing is a lot different. The scoring, obviously, the kickboxing is a lot more. There's a lot of pressure, and I feel like I'm very good at counter fighting.
mm,
So when I was doing Glory, I wasn't able to do like my trips and my sweeps and my elbows, the traps that
mm,
I normally set
mm.
when I counter. And So for glory, it was like, all right, instead of trapping them into elbows and sweeps, I have to sit in the pocket and box back and stuff like that. So
Right.
going back to Muay Thai, it's a little bit more. The pacing's a little bit different, but it's more technique, so a lot more flowing can get involved. There's not so much breakage and aggression and back and forth. There's a lot of flow to it, and even if you're going fast, that can get disrupted very quickly in Muay Thai, and somebody could just sweep you, trip you very quickly, and so you have to be very methodical in a sense, and especially someone like Kevin, who's very good at trapping and very good at technique.
Right.
I can't just come in there like, yeah, I'm gonna punch the hell out of Kevin, because he knows what to do, and there's a strong
Right.
puncher.
You mentioned about scoring, though, that the scoring is a little different and different. I'm wondering, should it be? Should the scoring be all of that different? It isn't a matter of what's landing. Isn't it a matter of, I get the dominance part and all of that, but should the scoring be that different? A punch is a punch, an elbow is an elbow, a knee is a knee. Why should it be that much more different in scoring a Muay Thai fight as compared to a kickboxing fight?
Well, I would say it's the philosophy behind the Muay Thai techniques. There's a little bit more philosophy that goes into it. So, like I said, when I'm throwing knives again, the elbows are knives. Okay, the knee is like a spear, the leg is like a sword, and the hands are just hands. So, in theory, if I'm close and I'm using knives, that's going to be my strongest form in the close range. If I use a spear to your body, it's going to be a strong technique. So that technique, a spear to the body rather than a punch to the face, one's going to be a lot graded, a lot higher. Now, they put more philosophy into the scoring than what we do. We traditionally look for who's the aggressor, who's landing the cleaner strikes and stronger strikes. There is too, except it's a little bit more of a back and forth balance thing. And you have to have like a really keen eye sometimes to see where the subtle scores are happening. That's been always, I think, a problem for most Westerners. Even myself, like I can watch a fight and I'll be like, I think he's winning, and then all of a sudden the other one wins.
Right. I was just getting ready to get to that. Yeah.
So yeah, it's sometimes like I hear it all the time, like, oh, I don't understand the kickboxing scoring. I think kickboxing scoring is easy. I think Muay Thai scoring is a little bit harder. Because kickboxing, you just kind of got to go forward, and then with glory, they specify that if you throw spectacular techniques, you're going to get graded higher. Right. And actually, in Muay Thai, like spectacular techniques, in a sense, like if I throw a spinning back kick, like it doesn't necessarily get graded highly, but it doesn't necessarily, like, it doesn't look bad, but I don't know where it stands as an attack.
Yeah, but Asa, yeah, I get it. But Asa, shouldn't we just be scoring what's landing? I mean, regardless of if I don't care whether it's an elbow or a knee or whether you call it a spear or a sword. I mean, ideally speaking, though, if it doesn't land, I mean, either one of them can do major damage to you.
I agree in a sense. I do agree. But yeah, I mean, like if it comes down to you're fighting a Muay Thai match and one guy's just punching and the other guy's kicking, the guy who's kicking should win, I believe, because it's a kicking fight. And
well, what if the other guy who's boxing, right, is outlanding the guy who's kicking, literally outlanding him, hurting him? Okay, so are you gonna make this guy lose just because he's not kicking as well?
Isn't that what is old full contact kickboxing? You have to.
I'm talking about in a fight. I'm talking about look. The name of it.
But you have to kick like so many times. It's just part of the rule. Like it's just a philosophy.
Do you have to kick so many times in Muay Thai, Asa?
No.
Exactly. That's my point.
But they already have the grading set, so it's like box punching is the last thing. Unless you knock me down, it's going to be the last thing to score.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's like in jiu-jitsu. Like I can't just hold you there, or
right.
You gotta go for the technique at some point.
Right. I guess I'm just a Westerner. I mean, it's just in my brain. I just kind of like the old school boxing period.
I mean, I was coming to Muay Thai. You know, I felt like, oh, my hands will be fine. my movement will be fine. I heard it all the time from Westerners, like all you gotta do is not stand in front of them. And yeah, to a point, like yeah, but the good ones know what to do. Like they know how to stop movement. They know how to cut angles. Like any champion, they know how to do those things. So I was very like that too. But yeah, when you start, if you're fighting in the Eastern and you're trying to do boxing Western stuff, you're not gonna win.
Right, right. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I always say we're in America. There you go.
Exactly.
But the other thing is too is that I'm wondering about the preparation for this fight, because you whether you say it openly or not, you do kind of look up to Kevin. You have kind of watched him, and like you said, he's been a legend in the sport. So there's got to be some level of respect there. I'm wondering about how did you mentally, or how have you thus far mentally prepared yourself in training? Because I remember when I was fighting, they asked me to fight some guy who I idolized for years. And I had a problem trying to get my mind around that thing to fight him. So maybe what you told me at the beginning, and that the fact that, I do have another thing for him. I'm a little jealous of it because he had the sponsorship, but I didn't. Are you using that somehow to motivate you to get hyped up for this fight, Asa 10 Pow?
No, not at all. Kevin don't pay me enough to think about him right now. First of all, no, my mental preparation I've taken very seriously for this fight. I know what Kevin is, just seeing his picture every day, seeing his face every day, stuff like that, just watching his fights, just getting accustomed to being ready in front of him. But more so just getting back in the ring. Like, I really want to perform very well. It's been a year and a half, like, not looking to go in there, and I just want to perform, man. I just want to fight, and I want to show what I've been doing, and I want to get back on track and get back on this thing. So whether it's Kevin or not, it don't matter.
Right. So what would a win mean to you?
And, everything. For me, to win from Kevin, not only to beat Kevin, but to beat him and beat him with a world title, and then beat him at home. Like, there's so many things that I'm blessed to have an opportunity to seize, and the moment is really, really up to me how I want to seize it. So yeah, it means a lot. Like, it means maybe I'm number one. It means maybe I'm number one now in America. Maybe I'm the guy that everybody's looking up to now, the way I was looking at Kevin. And I'll accept that responsibility. That's why I continue to do this. That's why I am taking this bout with Kevin. Not here to just take a fight and run away and bask in my glory. I'm here to keep things moving, keep our community moving, keep these fights interesting. Like, I take these fights because I know the community wants to see them. I'm not scared of nobody. If anything, I want that spot. I don't care who has that spot.
So you're willing to put it all on the line and everything. And I know no one thinks about losing, right? Or ideally,
put it all on the line. I got a gym. I got students. I got my family. I got my girlfriend. I got rent. I got all this shit I got on the line. Yeah, it's on the line.
Yeah. So I mean, but I think, like I said, I think that's pretty noble and honorable to take that risk in front of your family like that against such a a notable opponent as a Kevin Ross. I mean, there's just no doubt about that. So your mental focus is there. Your physical preparation is there. Has your training been any different though, as far as the intensity of it? In preparing for good. Would you say this is your toughest opponent?
I could tell you that after the fight.
I mean, perception-wise, right? When people see Kevin Ross as your toughest opponent thus far, Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions. I want to hear. Do you think he's your toughest opponent thus far?
No.
You don't.
but I believe he's a tough opponent. But I don't believe he's the toughest I will fight or I'll ever fight.
I'm going to ask you why. Why do you think that? With a guy who's as legendary as he is, do you think this is going to be an easy fight for you, Asa?
No,
Do
not
you
at
think
all.
you're going to go and run over Kevin?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think it's my fight again. So it's kind of where I want to go with it.
Right.
Kevin, like what I mean by the toughest fight, like, yeah, Kevin could give me a tough fight, but I'm 31. I'm still fighting. I'm going to fight for at least another decade if I can.
Wow. Okay.
So, so I'm expecting maybe the next 25-year-old, 31-year-old to be the toughest one. My last fight in Glory was pretty tough, but like I don't know what defines that. You know, like it was a hard fight, but there's different levels. You know, I'm sure you know going in. Sometimes you're not mentally, and that's tough. Sometimes you're not physically, but you are mentally.
Right.
So like mentally and like I feel fine. Like I'm not like my weight is good, my mind is healthy, my diet is good.
Right.
So yeah, I would say going over to the Netherlands in 5 days, cutting weight, fighting a guy on the biggest show in kickboxing history was a bit tough. That was a bit tough.
Well, tell me this, Asa. Tell me this as we start to wind down here too. I want to about the mental preparedness also when it comes to the fact that you have students that are also fighting on the card. And as a trainer, right, you're always concerned about those, those fighters. Are you going to work their corners? Or are you going to be how involved are you going to be in their fight when you know you have a bigger fight coming that night?
Yeah, that was kind of a thing in the gym. I kind of asked the guys to step aside this time around and let me just focus on my world title.
Okay.
And I promised them, I'm going to do everything I can to continue with you guys. I just need a couple months to do me. I need some help in the gym, so they stepped up. They helped me out. So I think so as far as like cornering guys, it's happened before. Coral is fighting. Coral is actually currently training out in Houston. I'm not going to go into it, but I'll be cornering her for that fight. For her fight here, I'll be in her corner for her for sure. But yeah, that I just asked the guys to just let me get this one, and when the next show comes, they want to put me on. We'll put everybody on. Let me just do this one. It's Kevin. It's a big fight. There's a lot of money involved, a lot of people sponsoring. So like, I really want to take the time and focus on it 100 because it's hard. It's hard with the gym and guys having fights too. You're like, damn, are they prepared? Is the gym okay? Is the financial okay? And like, so I just really tried to put myself in that best position this time around, and the guys agreed. And
good. That's good stuff. Hey, give a shout out to the people who are promoting this event.
Yeah, shout out to Muay Thai Addict, always being my #1 sponsor, representing me. Triumphant 11 for putting on the show, and thank you guys for getting me that main event here in Miami and for the world title. I look forward to battling it out with Kevin. Thank you to all my sponsors who have supported me. And thank you, Johnny, for allowing me to talk about my fight as well as blessing it out there. This is great stuff for the community. I want to keep pushing it. Fights are the best way, but these little media things too help promote. We need more of these. Need more podcasting of kickboxing and Muay Thai in this world. There's too many MMA ones.
Hey, you said that, I didn't, but I agree. But tell everybody where they can get tickets to come watch you fight on next weekend, Asa.
Yeah, you guys can get my tickets off of Ticketmaster. You can type in my code 10 Pow. Sure to open up some tickets for you guys. Or I have like 3 more days. So 3 more days you can get tickets off of me. I have a few extras. So yeah, hit me up, message me, fkakickbox@gmail.com. And if I don't see you there,
Yeah, let everybody know where it's going to be, Asa. Where is the fight actually going to be?
Yeah, the fight is June 12th in Miami at the James L. Knight Center. That's right off of Biscayne Boulevard, I believe, right next to
Okay.
the Airline Center. Yeah, if you can't make it to the live event, you can watch it on fight.tv. It's only $15.99, so you get the best of American Muay Thai for $15. That's pretty damn good.
I think I'm gonna try to check that out myself. Asa Ten Pow, man, I thank you so much for being on today. I know you got some training to get in today, and I wish you all the luck, man. You know, and all
Thank
again,
you.
I know that you and Kevin gonna do your thing, and I think the Miami crew over there is gonna have a great time at that event. So I wish y'all the luck, brother. Thanks so much again.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Asa Ten Pow, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Getting ready for his big fight next weekend with Kevin Ross on June the 12th there in Miami on a triumphant 11 card. It should be really, really exciting, guys. All right, that's all I have for you right this moment. I'm actually getting ready for another interview coming up here in just a few moments here at the 1 o'clock hour. It should be a lot of fun there. Hey, guys, listen. Thanks for watching another edition of Johnny Davis Live. Always respect each other. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Forward march. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.